Hello, this video is a description of the heart decompression meridian stretching exercises that we use in deep unwinding meridian stretching, as well as goddess flow, healing, movement, and feminine energy cultivation. So this is just a demo. Ordinarily I would go a little bit deeper into it, but I just want to show you the basics and how to get set up and how to start playing around with it. So the essence of heart decompression is relieving compression, especially myofascial compression, that is restricting the heart, keeping it from beating, possibly causing some friction and inflammation, and really keeping us from being energetically centered in our heart. And this often happens when we are consistently rounded forward, either energetically or emotionally protecting our heart, or just stuck in one of those postures like in front of a computer, driving a lot, things like that. Often it's a combination of all of the above. So throughout the day we can add in this playful exercise to make sure that we are relieving compression on the heart, keeping the connective tissues that run around the heart open and fluid, able to allow the lungs to contract and expand for full deep breaths, and to massage the heart, and for the heart to really be able to beat to its own drum, to literally beat in the way that is most effective for it. Okay, so we're in a comfortable position. You can do this seated or standing. I recommend starting out seated just so you can focus on the upper body. Standing, we add in a little bit more lower body movement and awareness. So for starting, just focusing on what's going on in the upper body can really be beneficial. We want our tailbone to be dropped so that our back is open. And so if you need a little bit more support for your hips, you can do that. You can sit cross-legged with your legs out to the side, whatever feels most comfortable, as long as you feel supported. Because we really want to elongate as much as possible through the head. We're setting ourselves up for a really good posture. And you want to do that, I would say, at least every hour, if not more frequently, when we are in a longer hold position, like in front of a computer. So every so often, I encourage taking a break and doing some type of deep unwinding practice. For this one, we will be focusing on the arms. And our arms have multiple pathways of muscles, nerves, connective tissue, arteries, veins, and other blood vessels, capillaries, and energy. And those pathways not only affect our arm, but they also go internally. And so we have the heart meridian, or the heart pathway, that goes from deep in the heart out the armpit, the back of the arm, up through the palm and into the fourth finger. We also have the pericardium, which surrounds and protects the heart. It's like it's front, it's front guard, it's first line of defense. And that also follows a similar pathway that goes out of the middle finger. Then we have the Sanjiao pathway, which runs through all three sections of our torso, our belly, our abdomen, and our chest. And it goes down the side of the arm and out through the back side of the fourth finger. Then we have the small intestine, which is actually really strongly connected with the heart, and the small intestine allows for discernment. A healthy heart allows for healthy energetic and physical boundaries, and when we have a healthy small intestine and a healthy heart, we have healthy boundaries, healthy discernment. We can allow physical things that we need inside of our body and release what we don't, as well as energetically. We also have the lung and large intestine meridians. The lung is obviously quite connected physically in location to the heart, but it goes out more of the front of the chest, the front of the arm, and down the thumb. And the large intestine actually comes all the way up from our large intestine, goes through the lung, and follows a similar pathway down our arm, but out to our pointer finger. So as we're doing this heart decompression exercise, we can also strongly be affecting those pathways that run all through our torso and help us achieve better internal health, as well as relieving external pain. So to start, we're going to imagine that we're pressing out, like we have, it's a very strong stop signal, right? We are pressing out on the energy that is pushing in towards us. And this will be energetic, but it will also be physical, because what we're trying to do is achieve a strong sense of stretch from the middle and the fourth fingers, our pericardium and our heart channels, all the way through those channels into our armpit and deep into our chest around our heart and pericardium. So we're pushing out from both sides, which is going to expand the space around the heart and pericardium. We're feeling like either there's a sense of like a laser beam shooting out of our palms and those two fingertips, or like we have taffy, that our arms are of taffy and they're gently being pulled out by someone that loves taffy, loves to stretch it, but wants to see it stretch. And I get the most effect when I get a sense of both of those things, that I'm sending out a very strong energetic force from my palm and those two fingers, as well as allowing that taffy sensation to flow all the way into my chest. Over time, this creates a very strong sense of decompression all the way along that pathway, deep into the heart, even though we're focusing on the external pathways. Often, about 40 seconds into this, we'll feel like we want to take a deep breath, release a sigh. That's a really good sign. It just means that there is some decompression. Things are starting to release. If this feels like too much at first, some people have a hard time with decompression because it can feel overwhelming. It's like, when our feet are waking up, we get that pins and needles sensation. Sometimes we can get an energetic feeling of that, like it's a discomfort in waking up, or it can be an actual physical sensation of discomfort. And in my opinion, a little bit of discomfort is fine due to the levels of pleasure that we can achieve in working through that. However, if there is a really strong decompression and you're feeling really uncomfortable with this exercise, a really nice thing to do is to go deeper into compression first. And that can be with things like a hug, a really nice strong self-hug or shared hug, if you have someone that you trust with that. Or we can do things like take a sandbag or some type of weight that is not too much weight. So it can take time to find the right amount of weight and pressure. But rest with that on top of us, because sometimes when our nervous system is quite dysfunctional, and our muscles are dysfunctional as well, when we do overstretch them or put too much stretch before they're ready to handle it, it can cause them to recoil. And so we can get a sense of pulling deeper into ourselves when this exercise is too much at first. So if that is the case, let me know if you can't figure out how to do it on your own, and I'm happy to support you in that. Okay, so we're starting out focusing on the heart and pericardium, pressing through the palms and the third and fourth fingers, feeling the taffy pull all the way deep into our chest. As we're doing this, we are trying to remember to breathe, right? Belly breaths in and out as much as possible. And when we breath out, we're lightly engaging our core and lifting. So we're creating this sense of our body being breathed, right? Our arms are still out, but maybe on the inhale, the shoulder blades draw together and we lift our hearts just a little bit. And then as we exhale, we lift through the crown, draw our belly in, and stretch just a little bit more. So it's this very slight flexion and extension as we're moving through this deep stretch. We can also move into working with the other meridians from this pose. And I'm just going to touch on that lightly. We'll go more into it in the Goddess Flow classes. But essentially, it's just a different tilt of the arms, right? So if we want to focus on the lung and large intestine meridians that run along the top of the arm, then we're going to have palms forward, and those two, the thumb and index finger, really strongly activated, pressing through those, and feeling the pull along the top of the arm, more into the top of the shoulder, maybe even the neck a little bit, because the lung strongly affects the neck, and the large intestine pathway actually runs up the neck to the face. So this is a great pathway to focus on if you are having more challenges breathing, if you are having either digestive issues or jaw and tooth issues, TMJ type stuff, which actually quite frequently go along together. So within just this basic pose, we can affect a large area of the body, anywhere from, the intestines, the pelvic floor, and up into the head. And when we clear the heart, when we decompress this and allow ourselves to breathe more deeply, that can actually massage all of our internal organs, which can affect multiple aspects of our life, not only digestion, anxiety, being able to shift into deeper levels of pleasure, but even sexual health, because we'll be massaging our womb or our prostate. We'll be activating the nerves that run through our pelvis and able to begin to release deep tension. In addition, the vagus nerve runs from the base of our spine, but it strongly runs through the heart and down to the womb, the top of the womb. And so when our heart is activated, which is easier to do when we decompress, and our womb or our prostate, our pelvic area is activated and open, we can begin to circulate the energy through those two areas like a beautiful feedback loop, which will help to awaken the more subtle aspects of our nervous system that allow for deeper pleasure. And that allow for pleasure not just through physical stimulation, but through breath work, through movement, through self-awareness, through being breathed, really aligning with the breath of the universe and being able to feel that flow moving through you. So this is a great foundational exercise to begin working towards those more advanced practices. And I highly recommend doing it throughout the day. I would say I do it in the morning when I wake up. I'll do what I call my arc line exercises, where I am doing some nice decompression, holding the decompression as I shift up through my arc line, so that I'm getting a nice strong, not only decompression, but actual stretch of the meridians as well. I will definitely add in some side bending and twisting. But to start out, just doing that basic decompression throughout the day can be really beneficial. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to dive deeper with anyone that really feels that they resonate with these practices and that wants to go deeper. So we can do that individually, or you can try out a Goddess Flow feminine movement and energy cultivation class, which is a combination of all of the practices that I offer. The deep unwinding meridian stretching, which is more of this kind of energy. The Dragon Goddess energy cultivation, which is more of circulating the energy, awakening the vagus nerve, and more of temple dance or healing dance, where we get into pelvic temple exercises, primal movements, creating a vortex, and things like that. All right, so I hope you enjoy it. Again, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you, supporting you in actively choosing to get into your body and feel pleasure. All right, loves. Talk to you soon.